Hello everyone, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Unity of Command 2, a new turn-based strategy game that allows you to play through the Western European theater from 1943 to 1945 as the Allied power in a grand campaign, or as the Germans in individual scenarios. In this episode, we are in episode 21 of our Let's Play series. We are going to be fighting the Battle of Belfort, which is where Free French forces are driving in to liberate the final pieces of France before driving into Germany itself in late 1944. That's where we're picking things up. This is from a live stream from a couple of days ago, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my live stream myself, and hope you guys enjoy. The Belfort Gap, the French forces prepare to strike at the Belfort Gap and then toward their old border with Germany, but Allied supply deficiencies coupled with the onset of winter in difficult terrain has allowed the German 19th Army to partially recover from the blows it was dealt while retreating from the French Riviera.
Loading. Please wait.
Alright. Schaeff dispatch. You are faced with fortified German positions in the Belfort Gap. Your orders are to break through the gap and take Mulhouse. Doing so successfully will outflank the German positions in the Vosges Mountains to the north and put Allied troops on the Rhine. A careful and methodical approach is advised, but if time allows, swing north and raid German positions in Colmar. The following units have been reconstituted by Schaeff after being destroyed in battle, the 2nd DIM. Alright, so our objectives are Belfort and Mulhouse. Secondary objective is Colmar by turn 8. This is an 8-turn battle, so we actually get a major victory if we take Mulhouse and Belfort. Really? Both by turn 8? Basically take them by the end of the battle? Or maybe if we take them by turn 7. Okay, no reinforcements coming up. Our units here are not super strong. I can't remember if I got my Free French troops bled or not. Alright. So I do think we need more artillery here, so I'm going to spend a little bit of our prestige on some 105mm guns. I'm really going to upgun some of those guys. Okay. Alright, I think that's probably all we're going to spend for now. No reserves in the headquarters, as far as I can tell. So let's jump into the Battle of Belfort Gap. So let's see here. Mulhouse is the objective on the far right. Belfort is over here, so we have to obviously advance along this railway to take Belfort and Mulhouse. And if we can, swing north to take Colmar. I have no air support in this scenario. We could. I'm curious if there's any Germans on Colmar, because if they're not, I'd love to paratroop some men into the German rear on top of their supply depot. That would completely fuck them. But they'd be still in supply along this railway, so that may not be the best strategy. Meanwhile, these troops are dug in. So we'll go ahead and launch a fixed assault against them. We did get a breach. So we instantly get a breach. Then we can go ahead and use this artillery to suppress them. Then we can move the armor up here, or move the armor up here to exploit their suppression. And just like that, we've broken through the front German position on that flank and advance along the railway there. So those guys are still in supply. So now we're 1 hex from Belfort. Meanwhile, on the southern flank, can't do as much. Need more arty, need more... I think I used my command points. Yep, we used 5 of our 6 command points. But a slow and methodical approach is probably the... especially with no air support, probably the smart approach. Be great to attack from that direction, but to be honest, I think it makes more sense just to allow ourselves to funnel through the railway. As much as maybe that is a little bit counterintuitive. Actually, we'll advance these guys here. Maybe they can bombard the troops to the north next turn. They should still have supply. I'm going to put a second depot here to increase the overall supply. Then I'm going to pull the depot in the north back completely, and we're just going to focus all our supply down here in the south. I'm curious if I swing these troops west and we just focus going up this roadway, if the Germans will exploit that and try and get around our flank. But I guess we'll find out. Meanwhile, we can't repair any bridges anyway, so we'll just jump forward to the second turn. Yeah, some recon planes here would be nice. This would be one of those rare scenarios where having a card for recon would actually be nice. Usually you have way more recon than you need, but apparently some units, like the Free French units, that is not the case. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and launch, actually, a fixed assault. So we breached Belfort down here. The city is in ruins, though. And we breached the troops on the northern flank. Okay, so we drove the northern flank troops away. Alright, I want these troops to come over this way. I'm going to go ahead and increase the supply. I'm hoping that decreases disruption. We'll find out. We're going to be in turn 3 here. This is a relatively small scenario. Okay. Interesting. So we bombarded Belfort anyway. It didn't actually do anything. Nice. So these guys are on rear guard. So even though they're in fortifications, they fell back. Alright, so all these guys should be on supply. So the armor should have supply next turn. We've driven the Germans back on both flanks around Belfort. I don't want to take casualties if I don't have to. They're not dug in, so I think we'll wait one more turn. This is going to be a little bit tricky. We probably won't have any chance at Colmar, I would imagine. I think the only way you do that is, that's the reason you had the troops in the north, is to try and flank them up there. By the looks of it, that won't happen in this battle. So the artillery's not super effective. It's kind of wearing them down. Alright, so all of their support is gone. But somehow, they still have level 3 defenses. I don't quite understand that. I'm guessing it's because the city's in ruins, maybe? This might be one we have to play again. Whoa! German armor! Where'd that come from? How am I not able to get anything positive against these guys? I mean, I guess I'll just attack. Eat casualties. Good God! Holy hell! Alright, we need to restart. I'm not gonna... We're gonna lose that. How are you supposed to dislodge them from Belfort? Rip. Restart. Yes. I lose a little bit of points for restarting here, but can't be helped. Must occur. I hope I get my prestige back that I went into the battle with. So I thought slowly and methodically wearing them down Was the strategy for success? That may not have been as wise. Pin center flank north? I mean, maybe. I mean, you still... So we do keep our prestige. No reinforcements for any of these guys. I wonder if engineers make more sense. If we're going to spend a little bit of prestige. I mean, yes, I want some artillery. I'm going to spend a load of... So we just spent a huge portion of our budget there. Hey, Twitch user 82. So we instantly breached them. Okay. Alright, so we overran them. And just like last time, we are threatening them. I have an idea. It's a bold idea, but it's an idea that I would like to try. I'm going to pull the supply from up there to get that depot further south. But I think that's it. I want to try and flank Belfort and cut its supply. So take this and then advance along the rail line, I think is my objective. Because last time, obviously, a frontal assault from and on each flank of Belfort itself didn't work. But if we cut the supply to the city... that should go a long way in giving us some success. Okay, so that guy did that. Move the armor here. It'll get 3 in. Drives them back. So now we should be able to flank them to the north. And then try and get around to their rear. Meanwhile, I am advancing here primarily just to... Oh, these guys are out of supply up here? Really? Interesting. I wonder why. Should increase our supply down there. Move forward to turn number 3, and we'll see what happens here. So the Germans are going to reinforce Belfort with the steps that they have. They're still entrenched there, but that's not my main concern. I want to get around their flank. So let's do this. Can we... Okay, so we overran them in the south. Get our armor up there. Force supply them. And now Belfort will be cut off from all of its supply. We have armor along the railway. And that should... I mean, that our supply situation is dicey at best. But that should suffice... to cut off Belfort. Meanwhile, these German troops up here in the north are now in supply. My own troops are not, so I'm going to fall back with them. And we'll see if now that we have Belfort cut off, we can more easily reduce it. Large German SS unit here. just advanced along the railway. How are they not? They're still in supply? Really? Okay, well, let's try pounding these guys into dust. Oh, nice. Rear guard. Alright, they've got to be out of supply now, right? Okay. We'll advance here. Obviously, we have to make sure we don't get our own troops cut off here. But I'm kind of tempted to advance on Mulhausen. I mean, the Germans could make a bold play for our entire supply depot. I'm going to assume they won't do that, just because that would abandon their base, but that might be a risky thing. I guess we'll see what they do. If this German unit, they could definitely get to this depot, which would totally wreck our plans. But I'm hoping that they don't do that. Oh man, I was on the edge of my seat. I thought they might do that. I mean, I don't know if they can make it past our zone of control or not. I'm not 100% sure. But they didn't, which is the important part. Alright, so we have now successfully cut off Belfort. We breached. Drove those. Destroyed that German unit to the south of the city. And now we're just waiting for the troops in the city to starve. Swinging our own troops around. So we breached Mulhouse. Are these guys out of supply? Well, no, we don't own the railway, that's why. Bombard those guys. Nice. Okay, so we advanced our armor up there, did some casualties to those German troops. These guys back that way. 2 KA to 1. Alright, so we drove the Germans back adjacent to Mulhouse. So now we'll try and make an attack on Mulhouse itself. Maybe we can take both these objectives before turn 8. It'll depend on... Yeah, some of these troops, their supply situation is not very good. Okay, so I will... Wow, 0 to 3 if we attack Mulhouse directly? Okay. Nope, don't do that. Alright, so we just took Mulhouse pretty cheaply. I would imagine this German armor up here may come south from Colmar to try and counterattack us. But Belfort's going to be completely out of supply next turn. Some of our other troops might be as well. These guys are on the rail line, so they should be fine. These guys are going to be out of supply. I supplied... Can I undo that? Yeah, I should supply these guys instead. They'll be necessary to help reduce Belfort here on turn 7. That'll give us a major victory. So we'll go ahead and end the turn. Some of these scenarios are a lot of fun. They're pretty small, pretty manageable scenarios here toward the end of the war. You can see winter has come, or at least it looked like winter had come. Snow had fallen. So we just took that objective, drove them out of the city. Okay, so we took that. We took the city. That now opens up the rail line, which opens up supply. We can try and go for Colmar, but we've already won the battle. So now really it's just a matter of, can we win it decisively? Okay, let's go ahead and put a depot at the front. Let's actually pull back on 2 of these depots back here, since more or less everybody's along the railway. Major victory, 100 prestige. I would like the extra 20, whatever it is. But we only have 2 turns to get through 2 lines of defense, so that may be a bloody proposition. Probably won't happen. But hey, you never know. Okay. Actually, I mean, still seems unlikely, but these German troops back here might actually now be out of supply. Oh, I probably shouldn't leave our objective. I guess we'll see if these German troops make a sprint for it. I'm guessing they won't. I don't think they can make that far in that terrain. But we'll see. Nope. Primary victory? Oh, alright. Well, it was a victory. We had to achieve it before the last turn, not on the last turn. So in any way, Belfort Gap is the only golden victory in this entire French map here. You can see all of these silver victories. Gold means a major victory. So that was our first major victory in the French campaign. We had a few of them in the Med. We had Husky, we had Avalanche, Volturno Line, 4th Casino. We had a number of major victories in Italy. But Northern Europe has proved a tougher nut to crack. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump in here and cut this one off. A little bit of a shorter video, and we even fought it twice, right? We fought the first time, failed, and then fought the second, or restarted and fought it again. But again, one of those battles that can be a little bit tricky if you don't know exactly how to approach it. If there's that rail line in the enemy, you got to be like Ulysses S. Grant at Petersburg. You got to work to try and get around the enemy, get along their rail line, cut that supply, and then the battle will be won for you. That's a really tricky thing to do in some scenarios. Unfortunately, the set-piece attack, which allows you to break down enemy fortifications, seems really inconsistently modeled, and it makes me wonder if the game is hard-coded to allow it to work on certain hexes with random odds or whatever the odds are, but whereas like important hexes that might have a reason they don't want you to do that for the campaign, if they make that impossible. I sure hope that's not true. I don't know if it is or not. But I had a lot of frustration after this battle in the Battle of Hürtigen Forest, which I lost at least 2 times. Actually, no, 3 times. And have not yet won it as of me sort of editing this video. So, similar scenario where enemy troops were dug in and there was literally no way to root them out. Shy of sending like sacrificial paratroopers into the rear or along the enemy rail lines. But that doesn't seem like the kind of thing the game's really trying to force you to do, because those are units that not everybody would have. I would imagine each scenario the episode would give you, or the scenario would give you the tools to win the battle, and I'm sure they do. It's lost on me. In any event, guys, we'll see how I fare at Hürtigen Forest in the next battle. I'm not going to show multiple failures, so I'll figure out how I want to actually show the battle. Maybe more of a tutorial type thing, because it is a very tough battle. With that being said, guys, I am going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, as always, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm out.